Hi,
My name is Tracey,
and my name is Lynne.
and together we
are
are Bollocks and Balls. We like to chat
And boy, can we chat.
about the bollocks and balls.
Mainly in our heads, but also about life in general. After all, it's good to talk. Oh God, I didn't think it was going to start then for a minute.
We are go.
We are go. Evening, Governor.
Evening.
How you doing?
I'm alright.
I know it's unusual for us to do an evening
I
one.
was just thinking that actually. Hang on, I've got a slip of tea.
All right, you carry on and slurp your tea. It's not like us to do an evening one, is it? Normally we do them during the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is it because we're a bit disorganised?
I don't know what you're trying to say. Us disorganised?
No, it can't be that, can it?
No, surely
That
not.
never happens. Hey, I like your socks.
I'm sure you got these for me, didn't you?
What did I?
I think so.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
I'm not
I've
sure.
got a good choice,
Oh,
haven't I?
I've got a good choice. Well done, look.
Wonder Woman
My
socks.
Wonder Woman socks.
They're
Yeah,
cool.
They are cool.
Yeah.
The only thing that happens sometimes is, though, that when I walk, they slip off the end of your heel.
I hate those socks.
She liked them just a minute ago.
I hate socks that do that.
Yeah, so when you walk along, they're like half on, half off.
Yeah. No, can't cope with them. They'd be in the bin.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
Don't you chuck them in the bin? Because I bought them.
So, it's telling me to chuck them in the bin, but I can't chuck them in the bin because she bought them. I'm sure you bought them for me.
I did buy you some Wonder Woman socks.
Yeah, I'm sure
so
they're
I might have
them.
done.
So yeah, they are, but they are very comfy other than them wandering off on their own chain. So how have you been?
I've been all right. Have you?
No.
Oh.
Well, I am now.
Oh, I didn't expect that answer.
You was expecting, no, I'm all good, thanks very much, weren't you?
Yeah, that's funny when that happens, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, that's not where you thought I was going with that, was it?
No.
I want a counselling session, I've decided.
Oh dear. Put my boy coat on.
I had a bit of a meltdown last week. I'm all right now.
Oh,
Just had a bit of a meltdown last week.
Right, tell me.
Wedding, dressing up.
Not your wedding.
Oh God, no. Jesus, I can't remember that, love. It's a freaking long time ago. I'm not sure I'd repeat the experience, to be honest. Really not. It wasn't something to write home about.
Don't say that out loud. In my ear.
He knows that already, love. I make no secret of that one.
Anyway, going back to
but that just makes me think. I think I've got an aversion to weddings.
I definitely have, but there that's another story.
We've just swapped counselling session now. We're going to talk about Tracey's aversion to weddings.
We won't go into them. Right, what happened then?
My fake tan went wrong on my legs.
Well, that's quite common.
Yeah, it was. And to be honest, I think the bottle was out of date. She's just.
And did you scrub up before? With a bit of scrub on all the points?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that went a bit wrong.
Okay.
And then I think it's the combination of wedding and dressing up.
Right.
Just felt really uncomfortable, really ugly, really horrible.
Actually, I can relate to that because I'm a real jeans and t-shirt girl. So dressing up for me makes me feel like I'm... don't know whether this is how it makes you feel as well. I don't even know how to explain it.
No.
Awkward.
Yes.
Awkward. It like lots of people love dressing up, don't they? Because it makes them feel really good. No. I'm no good. I felt really uncomfortable. But did you have a new outfit?
Yes.
No. Didn't do it.
No. I think it was because the tan went wrong. Then I had to buy tights.
Right.
I couldn't get tights that I would normally wear. So I had to go to a shop and buy tights. And they never fit properly, do they? Especially for somebody my size, tights never fit properly.
Right.
So that automatically made me feel uncomfortable. Then I was at a min-and-ahhing, because obviously with a dress and my shape, you need suck it in pants.
Right.
But that would have meant me knickers, tights, and suck it in pants. And I thought, I'll flipping melt if I've got that much on. But the tights were that tight, they were kind of holding it in as a suck it in pant kind of thing would.
Love it.
And I don't know whether it's because it's like you say, it's so far out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
That meltdown. I was like, I can't do this, I don't want to do it.
So just the outfit, or how that made you feel in the sense of
sweat now.
Of in what context did that make you feel? Do you know what I mean?
No, explain what context.
Well,
I mean.
Because it could be was it the fact that you were just dressing up and that takes you out of your comfort? Was it the fact that you think then you're conscious of how you look? There's so many things, isn't there, to feel uncomfortable about, or was it just a combination of the whole?
I think it was a combination of the whole. So I was worried about the food aspect of it, obviously with intolerances and stuff like that. So that bothered me, because you never know how people they catered for me beautifully. It was lovely, and they really made an effort. But I think that always concerns me. Because
can we just go a little bit deeper here? So why does that concern you? In what way? So does it concern you in the sense that you'll have nothing to eat, or you'll get a reaction from it, or if it is the wrong food that you can't speak out about it?
Probably that last one. So I never worry about not having anything to eat, because I always think, right, I'm going to take something with me, and if I'm really that hungry, I'll go to the car and grab something. Mm-hmm. So that bit didn't bother me. And plus there was a break, so we were going back to our Airbnb.
Why would you go to the car to eat it?
Oh god, here we go. Because obviously I wouldn't take it in and eat it.
Why not?
Because that would seem rude.
Why would that seem rude?
Because it would. Because See, honestly, it does go like really. So it's that.
If you've got an intolerance, which they haven't catered for, why is that rude? That you just then go, look, really sorry guys, I've got an intolerance, but I have brought my own, so I've got this to eat. Why is that rude?
It's not when you say it out like that to me, but in my head at that time it was.
Very allowed to speak out.
Yeah, see,
it's not rude.
No, see, and I think that's that. It's the, so like you say, it was that. It was feeling uncomfortable in my clothes, feeling like it's just like a whole load of. So yeah, it was that. It was feeling uncomfortable in my clothes. It was not feeling like I fit in.
Why didn't you think you fitted in?
You really need to see her face. When she asked me those questions, you really need to see her face.
I'm interested.
Oh gosh. So for me, how do I word this?
How you feel about it?
Yeah, it's difficult to put into words.
Don't overthink it.
I am overthinking.
Just say what's there.
Like you say, because
don't be afraid. Just don't fall out.
Because I just don't. I'm not like the rest of that group of people.
Why?
I don't see the world in the same way.
Okay. Why is that a problem?
It's not a problem. That's the thing. It's not a problem. And that group of people accept me for who I am.
So why didn't you feel like you didn't fit in?
It's a good question.
Wasn't that then, was it?
I don't know. See, this is why I needed to talk about this, because she makes so much fucking sense that I'm like, oh, you're just talking out your ass again, Lynne. It is.
It's not out your ass, because it's how you feel.
Yeah.
But it's just getting to when you've got to say it out loud, because you say it out loud, but actually what you say out loud initially is never the issue.
No, this is it. Yeah.
Because you've just said you didn't fit in, but actually those people accept you. So you do fit in, so that's not the issue then, is it?
No. Or maybe it is because I want to think I fit in, as in, how do I put? I'm not. How shall I put it really? Yeah, I'm not making much sense. In fact, now it's not making any sense in my head.
But it was real at the time. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and
It's very real at the time. And the thing is, when we're in that situation, isn't it? Realness goes out the window, because we start, like you've just done that. We start overthinking it. So we overthink all the things we think are the issues, which actually probably aren't the issues. There's probably something there dug deep down inside that is creating you to feel that way. But you have to dig down to that. But because we overthink it, then one issue becomes another issue, and then I think we get so confused where we're even going with it that we forget the real issue anyway, because now we've got a bucket full of freaking issues.
And it did feel like that.
Yeah, because we get ourselves in a mental state, don't we?
Yeah, and it did get, honestly, it got to that point where I was like, I'm not going. I can't. And like you say, and even though we know all this stuff, my head was not being rational at that point.
No, because you know stuff, but you're still a human being.
Yeah.
And things make us. I was going to say things make us feel certain ways, but things don't make us feel certain ways.
No.
We feel that way because of something inside us.
Yeah. And I don't know what.
It's not really the thing, or
triggered it.
There was something in you. It wasn't anything to do with where you were, who you were with, but something inside you.
Maybe it's just the aversion to marriages.
Why have you got an aversion to marriage?
No, I've had an aversion to marriage since I was a kid.
But you're married, so you haven't, because you got married. So that's just a story you're telling yourself.
I didn't want to get married. And by the way, my husband knows that. That is not news to him. He knows that.
And you are happily married in the scheme of it. So
yeah, because I choose to be with him.
Yeah.
Not every day.
But you didn't choose to get married. But you are married, and
yeah. So I don't know what it is. There's something deep down lurking in there that triggered something.
Yeah, there is. There absolutely is.
It was just really weird. It sounded kind of like, say...
But why didn't you want to get married anyway?
I never wanted to get married.
Why?
I just don't see the point. I think it's a waste of time, a waste of money, and I think it's an antiquated ritual.
I agree with you to a certain extent, although I do think, unfortunately, there are some legal implications to not being married when you're together that make things difficult in the law process.
I agree.
That's not the reason to get married, but there are some issues within laws if you're not married and together.
I know, and they need to
don't
change
give you
that.
rights to each other if
Because it's
things
bollocks.
happen, which is a load of bollocks. Yes,
They need to
absolutely.
change that. It's an antiquated law and it needs to go.
Well, unfortunately, we have lots of antiquated laws, don't we? Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I completely agree.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I completely see that. I think those laws need to change, especially in this day and age. But it's not something I never wanted to do. It never bothered me.
No.
In my head, you are far more committed to somebody having children with them, because if you're any kind of parent, and this is my head and my opinion, by the way, you would be in that person's life for the rest of their life anyway, because of the sake of the children.
Not necessarily together, but
not in together. I'm not saying you stay together for the sake of the children. Absolutely hell no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But you'd be in the life.
You would be in that child's life, which means you have to remain in a civil relationship with that other person.
Has that actually got anything to do with marriage, though?
What I'm saying is that for me, you're more committed by doing that than you are getting married. Having a child with somebody is more of a commitment.
Right, with you. Yeah, sorry.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In my head, marriage is just a piece of paper and a day.
Very expensive day these days.
Granted. But that's my opinion, and it's something. God, I remember having a row with my dad at 12, telling him I would never get married and I would have children out of marriage.
Yeah, it's a.
And I'm not sure how far that goes back, whether that's this lifetime thing or whether that's a past life thing.
Because I think the whole marriage day is supposed to be a celebration of two people coming together, and unfortunately I think in this day and age people don't look at it even as the celebration of two people uniting. It's just become a day of expense and how it looks.
And for other people. You pay for other people. You're not paying for you, are you? You're paying for other people.
I never understand that one. Yeah.
I don't know. I've always had a really strong view on it ever since, like I said, ever since I was young. And I don't know whether it's, like I say, it's a this lifetime thing. In the fact that, my parents did have the greatest of marriages. Sorry, Mum and Dad, but you didn't. Or whether that comes from somewhere else. And my mother-in-law was, which is why I ended up getting married, was hell-bent on us getting married.
It's a very difficult one, isn't it? Because it's like the whole marriage thing comes from a religious base.
Maybe that's it.
Which is totally out of the window these days, in a sense. I can remember years ago, if you weren't christened, you didn't get married in church, and suddenly the church will marry anybody. It's just another venue. God help me. God help.
God, I'm choking at my words there somewhere.
Yeah. Funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know whether it's just so whether it's that deep lying issue that was causing the problem that kind of mounted, and then everything else kind of. What was the final nail in the coffin? And this bit really didn't bother me, but it was enough to send me over the edge. Was when I went to have a shower on the Wednesday morning, there was no hot water. And sorry, excuse me. So John went round to the people who own the Airbnb. They're only in the same place. It was just that the boiler had been accidentally switched off. And so it's fine. And she's like, come and have a shower in our house. It's fine. We've got plenty of showers and all this. So she was lovely. But yeah, that was, I just said it. And I don't know whether that was the trauma of not having a bathroom for 5 months. I thought, fuck, here we go again. I was like, John, boil the kettle. I'll stand at the sink and have a wash.
I think you just had a bad day.
I just had a bad day. And bless him. He tried his best, as As he does.
But that's okay. It's okay to feel all those things.
Yeah.
It was fine. You had a shit day.
This is it, isn't
I
it?
mean, say you're a shit person, but you just had a shit day.
I had a shit day, felt shit about myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really strange.
So when the day was over...
See, now the thing is, right, the weird thing is, when we went back, we got changed because it was like an 80s disco in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So we could get changed if we wanted to. So I did. Took my leggings, took my Choose Live t-shirt, put my hair, sorted my hair out, back combed that a bit, put me like sparkly like Madonna gloves on. And fucking whale of a time in the evening.
So it is to do with I think it's to do with the dressing up then.
Yeah, I'd absolutely. Yeah, I danced.
Because if you're happy with the evening and such, that's still part of the wedding. So it had to be to do with the dressing up.
Yeah, literally, I had leggings and a long t-shirt on, and I danced literally virtually all night. Might have helped that I might have had a glass of wine or two, but but that didn't bother me. People were taking videos.
No, because if you weren't in the right headspace, drink will take you to the opposite way.
Yes.
If you're not in the right headspace.
No.
Drink can be a real downer.
Yeah, but no, I didn't, and I wasn't pissed. Do you know what I mean? I just can't do that feeling anymore, so I just can't. But I even, like, later on in the evening, one of the other ladies that was there, one of our friends, so I was, they had the Dirty Dancing song on. So I thought, right, I can't do the whole flipping routine, can I? Because I've got nobody to lift up, plus I can't remember it. So we were at the back of the room and we were doing cha-cha. So I was teaching her just like basic cha-cha steps.
Yeah.
So somebody videoed that, but that didn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like...
I think it was to do with the dressing up.
Yeah.
You just felt uncomfortable in that space. And like I said, I totally get that because I don't. Some people just love dressing up. I mean, you know me, I don't even do dresses unless I have to. I always feel uncomfortable in a dress, so. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I look at people that are dressed up, do you know what I mean? Look glamorous, and I think, I'd love to look like that, do you know, just to feel like that. But clearly...
So is that what it is then? You think you don't feel, you think you don't look that way when you dress up?
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's about how I looked. Yeah. Well, we got there in the end, didn't we?
How long's that taken? Oh, only 22 fucking minutes. Thanks for the therapy session, love.
Oh, we haven't finished yet.
Oh, damn.
We need to know why.
Oh, God, now you're going to get flipping deep in me because of my size.
Why is that a problem?
There you go. I suppose the aspect is that I don't look like everybody else, so that makes me stand out, even though I'm happy to be weird and stand out in some circumstances, but in none. Yeah. Why is this shit so complicated?
I don't know.
Why am I so complicated?
I don't think it's you. Well, it is you. But
it's
what I
just
mean
me,
to
folks.
say, it's not just you. And I don't think it matters whether you're big, small, tall, short, whatever it is to do with your size. People feel a certain way because of whether that's too big, too small, too tall, too short, whatever. So I don't think it's just you. I would probably say it's the majority of people.
Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I was thinking about this the other day when I can't remember what it was. You said something, and when I was at my time when mentally I was not in a good place, I lost an awful lot of weight, and I was quite thin, very thin.
Right.
And that made me feel like shit.
Really?
Yeah. Because clothes didn't fit properly. because I was so thin.
Yeah.
And when you like lost my shape, and yeah, so that's the other end of the scale. But I felt like shit at that time in a visual way.
Yeah, it is that. Actually, that's just reminds me, years and years and years and years ago, I used to work with somebody, and she was a size 6, 8. And I remember having a conversation with her, and she said to me, I'd much rather be your size. I was like, don't talk out your arse.
No, it's true.
She went, I'm telling you now, I would much rather be your size.
I remember and I was like a 6 to 8 then. And I can remember going into a shop once and somebody saying to me, oh, what are you moaning about being that size? But it was really big to me because I couldn't get anything to fit.
Yeah, see, this is it, isn't it?
So it's all about how you feel in your head.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's irrelevant what that looks like on the outside. How many tall people do you see walking down the road who stoop?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do, don't you?
How many short people, I'm putting my hand up here, have worn high shoes? Not anymore because I can't cope with it with old age. Because I always felt I looked better being taller, not short.
It's funny, isn't it?
Because I didn't have confidence in myself, so I wanted to be taller.
So you wore 4-inch heels.
So I wore 4-inch heels or platforms or anything that made me look taller.
It's funny, isn't it?
So the only thing we need to work on is what is between the ears, isn't it?
It is, because I think...
Or how we feel as such, you know, in the ears of what that headspace is telling us, and in our heart, and on actually being okay with ourselves. Because if we accept ourselves for absolutely how we are, none of those issues will come up, will they?
No, that's the thing, isn't it? And I think there's always part of you, isn't it, that thinks what other people are thinking.
But the funny thing is,
they're not.
They're not, because they're too worried about what they look like, feel like, whatever they're.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't, like you say, most people don't go around judging other people, do they? Or people that know you well don't go around judging you.
Or people judge you, but they judge you from their own inbox. They're not really judging you from how you look.
No.
They're judging you from how they feel.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. It was that.
Bit light in the mood, I think.
It all got a bit serious, didn't it? It's not on. It all got a bit serious.
But this is it. It's all about how you identify as yourself, isn't it?
And that's the thing, isn't it? And it made me really aware of how easy, even when you know this shit, how easy it is to drop into that.
And like you said, when we drop into it, then it escalates.
Yes.
It escalates. It not even from the core of where it's come from.
No.
Because we even lose vision of what that was.
Yes.
The reason why we start to feel like this.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, it escalated into half a dozen other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it just made me really aware.
Sorry.
Go on.
It also shows how we hide behind blaming something else because we're almost too afraid to recognise or be responsible for what is actually the problem. Because we went through a whole scenario there, didn't we? Of was it the clothes? Was it the wedding? Was it because of your mum and dad? And I think this is why we end up, a lot of people blame, because if they blame, they've got something to hide behind. Whereas actually, if you step out and really peel off the layers and go, okay, why am I actually feeling like this? We have to really look in the mirror and look at ourselves and be honest and take responsibility for that. That's hard.
Wow. Fuck. But it is. Now you've just sat there and said that, and I've just thought it is, isn't it? It's the fact that I feel, and it's a big word, shame at being this. Most of the time I don't, but in that circumstance, at that time, I felt shame in being the size that I was. So therefore, everything else impacted that, whether that was food or what I was wearing.
Yeah.
So there's still a level of shame about being this size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and then that level of shame, if you have that means you're, and clearly I'm responsible for being this size.
Mm-hmm.
So it's then having to accept the fact that you're responsible for being this size, even though you weren't consciously making the decisions that you were making at the time.
Well, we don't consciously make those decisions.
But it's really interesting, isn't it? Now you say that it is just that shit. Yeah, it is that shame, is the fact that I'm there at that size or this size, and that you've put yourself in that.
But that shame only comes from programming in how we should look, on what size we think we should be.
Exactly.
And then the stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And we don't take responsibility for ourselves.
No, we don't.
We don't, because that then triggers things like shame.
Yeah.
And things like that. And also I think it triggers feelings that we think we shouldn't have. I mean, don't we all, and it was going back to like what I was saying just now about actually facing it in the mirror.
Yeah.
We just find that so painful.
Yeah.
And we do all have this blame culture, which I think is something that really we all need to address that, really, because I think that is almost like a default thing these days.
I think it is, because it's easier to project outside than it is to look inside.
Yeah.
Because looking inside means you're going to cause yourself pain.
Yeah. And it is like
even though
place to hide.
Yeah, even though that's a temporary pain.
Mm.
And actually, once you've looked at that pain, it virtually dissipates immediately.
Yeah.
But you're still having to do that. We're not taught to reflect on our actions. We're not taught to reflect on ourselves. We're not taught to reflect on anything, which is actually what we need to spend quite a lot of time doing.
It is, and it would cause a lot less judgment around with people.
Yeah.
And that is something else that needs to be taken away, because like we were saying earlier, judgment comes from where the place you're sat on. We all have that thing, don't we? You made me feel like that. That made me feel like that. Nothing external can make you feel a way.
No.
That's your choice on how you feel about that.
Yeah, this is it. Like you say, things happen and can evoke feelings in you.
Yes.
They can.
Yeah.
But those feelings come from another place. They don't come from that action.
Because it evokes a feeling, and then what we do is go to the default library and then pile on all the things that then confirm anything that's made us feel that way in the past. And we go, see, that.
Yeah, so it is really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like you say, it's about that. So we've gone about self-acceptance, isn't it? And it made me realise that self-acceptance is an ongoing process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You always have to be looking at, and I'm not meaning you don't have to work at it daily, because you don't necessarily, but not when you've done a lot of work, but you just, that there will be times something will come back up and smack you in your face, and you think,
Oh, absolutely. And even the most, we've all got these people that we see in our lives that we think are confident, that don't have any of the feelings. There will be something in their life that brings up that suddenly they have a wobble.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is go, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to have a wobble.
This is it, isn't it? And like you say, it's funny, that's just reminded me of something. I briefly watched the tail end of something on the telly the other day, and it was, I knew she was going to say that. It was with Paddy McGuinness, and it was a stand up to cancer thing, and it was about a group of like celebrities, and they were being trained to walk on a high wire.
Yeah.
So, and then they were getting them to do fear things just to like tackle the fear. And there was this young lad on there, and to look at, he looks lovely, he's gorgeous, six pack, was on Love Island. So you think, okay, on Love Island, you're all right, you're quite self assured to go on there, places like that, to get your kit off most of the time and what have you. This kid, well, he's not a kid, he's a man, had a massive meltdown. I have never seen anybody have a meltdown about doing anything with heights. And I mean, at some points he was just like screaming, I can't do it. And like so you say, isn't it, that you just never know.
No, you don't.
What's going on with somebody and how.
What has triggered that feeling with him and
But it was just really interesting. So
because we all have fears, don't we? And we're born with some fears. But it's then what gets piled on top of that to then almost like exasperates it, doesn't it? But it's what we take on board and pile on that. Yeah. And
that's it, isn't it? Like you say, isn't it? Is I used to have a big fear of flying. And I didn't go on a plane for years because I wouldn't. It wasn't the fear of flying. It was the fear of being out of control, that I wasn't in control. And that was because I felt so shit about myself. I needed to have control of everything.
Yeah.
So actually there wasn't essentially a fear of flying.
No.
It's because
9 times out of 10 it never is it?
I wasn't controlling the plane. So if I wasn't in control, it was all going to go tits up. Yeah.
I think we're never taught to, with our feelings, we're never taught to sit and go, why do I feel like that?
No.
We automatically go, what's making me feel like that?
Yeah. That's what's wrong with me.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But if we just sat with it, because they're okay, all these feelings, good ones, bad ones, whatever it is, they're all okay. And I think sometimes just to pause and go, what's actually, and you have to ask yourself, right, good 5 or 6 times, what is actually making me feel like that?
Yeah. Where is that coming from?
Yeah.
Because like you say, it's never that external thing, is it? Ever.
Something triggers it.
Yeah.
When somebody says something to you, we should just be okay with what it is, no matter how nasty it is. We should go, okay, you okay?
Yeah.
Because it's somebody might have said something nasty to you, but actually it's got nothing to do with you. It's them, how they feel about themselves.
Yeah, just projecting that
out. Yeah. Yeah. Big pause buttons we need.
Yeah.
We spoke about this the other day,
didn't we? Say that about we all need a pause button on our heads.
We need a pause button. Yeah.
We just go, but
it's fine. It's okay. But always remember that you're okay. Doesn't matter. Tall, short, wide, thin, whatever. Yeah.
This is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say, it's accepting ourselves for who we are.
Yeah. And we're all different. So why do we all think we've got to look the same when we all want to be unique and different?
I know. But that's what I mean. It's so fucking complicated, isn't it? That's what I mean. On one hand, I'm like quite happy being the weirdo. Do you know what I mean? And on another hand,
you want to fit in.
I want to fit in and be like slim like everybody else.
Mm.
So you can't have it always.
Not everybody's slim.
No.
So
that's again, like you say.
So that's a story you're telling yourself, isn't it?
And to be honest, I don't want to be slim either.
Well, there's a whole nother counselling session.
We haven't got time for that. I don't want to be completely slim. I know I would look weird. I just wouldn't look right.
Why wouldn't you look right?
Because I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. There you go. And now she's going to go on about, so you don't want to change yourself. So, right, this is going to go on for at least another hour.
We won't go on to that tonight.
Oh, this could be a long night.
I'm going to give you a nickname.
What?
The big issue.
She's going to try flogging me on a street corner.
Whoa, that's a whole other story.
Well, fuck. If this shit don't work out, that's what we're going to be doing, love.
Well, the big issue of the street corners. Oh, dear.
Well, it's not like we've not been asked that in our profession as it is already, is it?
That's true.
Do you do happy endings or extras? I'll pay you a fucking lot for that, mate.
Oh dear.
Charge well over a £100 for that.
Oh.
We need to do a podcast on that
Yeah,
one
we do
day.
actually. That would be cool.
Confessions of a therapist.
Yeah.
We so need to do one on that. Confessions of a massage therapist.
Anyway, when does this one go out? This Sunday?
Goes out Sunday.
Ah, see. Where will we be Sunday?
Where will we? We will be at the Past Life Regression Workshop. So when you're listening to this, we will be driving up there.
Yeah.
Well, depends if you're listening to it at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock. If you're listening to 11 o'clock, we're already there.
Anyway, we'll save that one to tell you later. So
we can't wait.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you didn't see our post yesterday and you're listening to this on Sunday, we have launched the Patreon website to go with this podcast by the frickin' way. So you can help us keep going with this podcast, and you can get yourself an extras. You might even get a happy ending if you're lucky by paying us. So you can click on the Patreon website, which will be in the link in the show notes. And you need to keep us supplied in chocolate. So there you go. That's what it's paying for. And for the extra pod, your extras.
Love it.
I am now going to go on to Patreon and show the change our tiers to you get a happy ending.
Don't do that. God, you're putting us all into all sorts of trouble here.
Yeah, that's an OnlyFans job, isn't it? It's not
See,
Patreon.
don't let her be in control. Just don't let her. It's a nightmare.
Right, we better sod off.
Yes, we better. Before we do get into trouble.
Yeah, it's getting too close to now. See you later, folks.
Bye.
So much for listening to Chatting Bollocks and Bull with Lynne and Tracey.
If you would like to see or hear more of us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or of course by subscribing to the podcast.
If you share this podcast with others, you will make two old birds very happy. And finally, if you want more bollocks and bull in your life,
and who wouldn't,
then sign up to our newsletter. The link is in the show notes.
That's all, folks.
Love ya!